Providing academic challenge is our main priority, but a key thing for the school is always stretching the girls to full personal development and full potential in every respect. Well, the work that Sarah's been doing in theatre studies is quite a new area for us. We're interested in the development of thinking skills and creative skills, and particularly in the creative process, and that's what she's been focusing on using video.
It's just a tool that you can immediately see how something looks and assess whether you want to use it or not.
Someone who's not in that scene will sit out and go, oh, let's try doing this, and they almost like take the director role for a bit, and then we rerun things and say, I'm really unhappy with this, can we change it?
They do tend to vocalise their thoughts and discuss everything and analyse it verbally, and sometimes it's difficult to get them up and practically physicalising their ideas. There are many variables that you can choose when you're looking at creative work, so you can have a director or not, or you can devise it, or you can have a script. So I thought one group should be scripted, one devise, one have a director, one not. So that, and just see what happens with that. At Stratford-upon-Avon Grammar School for Girls, we're fortunate to have the Royal Shakespeare Theatre and its resources, the acting space, the costume hire, the educational facilities, all on our doorstep. Every year, the Year 13 Theatre Studies group produce a piece of drama to be performed at our day of celebration, held on this occasion at the Courtyard Theatre. First group are working collaboratively on a scripted performance.
I've not read it. It's way too complex. Yeah.
The second group are devising their own piece of theatre, working with a self-appointed director. The groups begin the rehearsal process in different ways.
I really like the idea of the history boys / girls thing, because I think...
And I do like this what a cornucopia of tax, because then that's explaining what it is. We need that, don't we?
As Ibsen said when he wrote that letter about Berta in Hedda Gabler, because she is the smallest character in the play. I want a beard, Flora, not your life story.
Do I need my line there?
It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury.
You had to create a backstory to make a character interesting, and she is really vital.
Is that what Shakespeare's like? Incredibly depressing.
I really like it.
As the second group don't have a formal script to work from, their ideas are free and unrestricted. They're able to express themselves beyond the framework of a text. The director's role in this case is to harness their ideas and move them forward. The established rehearsal process makes use of a director to supply clear vision. Although the first group are working without a director, they have the structure of the script to provide a framework within which they're free to experiment.
The audition scene anyway, so we can be setting up for that whilst we get into the scene, because that gives a bit of hustle and bustle, because I'll be getting my telephone out.
Hath not a due eyes, hath not a due hands, organs, dimensions, senses, passions, fed with...
Do you understand how complicated we can allow ourselves to be? Just see.
The second group make use of their director as a creative artist who unifies input from the group in order to move their piece forward.
Only an hour to go. She's almost there.
There's loads and loads of hustle and bustle, and the pause is everybody pauses.
Don't you overweight any chance of that?
Both groups have produced impressive performance pieces using different rehearsal methods. The processes have been successful in order to encourage original thinking and hopefully provide a clear enjoyment of the creative process.
I'm looking forward to taking an idea and completely changing it into something that we think will be funny and that we think is funny, and working as a group to create something.
It's just everyone works together, everyone pitches ideas together, and
Which our school really hasn't seen before. Something which can really make our year go out with a bang.
I like having a small group because I get on really well with the other 5 people. I think it's better being smaller because we can function and we listen more to each other.
The impression Kate gets a bit nervous about telling me what to do in case we'll all end up hating her. But I enjoy having her because I like being told what to do, and it makes us all do stuff together.
But it's quite hard work because they're all my good friends, so I don't want to sort of yell at them when they're not working and stuff. But overall, it's going really well and everyone's really pulling together, and I think it's going to be great.
All we require is a petrol ration for 1, possibly 2 vehicles, itinerant status for groups, vis-a-vis food, vouchers, etc. Salaries will be negligible. It will be a cooperative.
And this is to be your contribution to the war effort. I take it this is to be a non-profit making venture.
I can say with absolute certainty that comes from a lifetime involvement in the theatre that it will be making no profit whatsoever.
We shall master the accents of every region in Britain, for when it comes to differentiating characters, there is no greater ally than the regional accent. Is nice for as sharp as a pen and a beveled grain fails.
Cockney.
The storm brewing. Climb the cliff. Then I hear the roar of waves crashing on the cliff edge. I turn round and see a wall of water crashing down, engulfing the house, the cliff, everything. Silence. Darkness.
Time ticks slowly by.
Motionless, she lies on the floor amongst countless passengers.
her hands clasped as if grasping for something.
It's only really now that we've put the 2 groups side by side, because obviously they only had the experience of their group. They didn't have the contrast. So it's now putting them side by side. They can see whether they might have preferred working on a devised piece or without a director or whichever they weren't working with.
I think it opens up different opportunities for them to be aware of what's possible. I think enriching the curriculum is a very significant challenge for all schools. We're not just interested in going through examination hoops all the time, but we're looking at breadth and interesting, inspirational, stimulating projects.
I think there's a lot of talented students in Year 13 at the moment, and I think it's essential that I provide an extra challenge for them, for them to take on the role of the director or for them to collaborate together, rather than it be me, the director. And I think that's been interesting in many ways, interesting for me to have to take a step back.
The way it's gone is a lot of the time if there's a scene going on, someone who's not in that scene will sit out and go, oh, let's try doing this, and they almost like take the director role for a bit, and then we rerun things and say, I'm really unhappy with this, can we change it? And everybody says, oh, I like that or I don't like that, and we go with what feels best. And there hasn't ever been an argument really, has there?
No.
Never.
That's one thing we don't have in ours, is that everyone's always in the scene, so you never have someone who can look at it from an outside perspective.
Because with us it was different because there was usually somebody not on stage at any one time, so we could have loads of different people's opinion, which I think helped.
Yeah.
Sarah, would you be tempted to try this kind of group work using video with other age groups?
Oh, certainly, yeah. I do use it a lot in my teaching at the moment, but it's just so instant, and drama's all about what things look like. It's vital in drama to be able to take a a distanced view and be able to see themselves.
What kind of progression would you expect to see?
I think it's all to do with the ways in which they reflect on watching themselves, not just, oh, there I am on the screen. And I also think as well, with a certain level of as maturity increases, they are able to reflect on each other's performance with, and support each other and take each other's comments on board.
And how do you think this would work across the curriculum in other subjects?
I think the obvious link there is in the ability to reflect on the learning process. Self-reflection, self-assessment is significant within all assessment for learning activities. And what we have here is a device for focusing on that, enabling that to happen.
Do you think it would have turned out differently if we'd had a director?
Definitely. I think if there had been one other person implementing it, it would have been very different. But we've all been able to share our own ideas, and we've all been able to have our own input. So I think it's a lot better.
Do you think you've had less input as a group because you've had a director?
I wouldn't say we had less input. In fact, I'd say we have more because we don't have a script. We're not limited in that respect, so we have to have as many ideas as possible.
What did you learn?
Well, how to edit. I can now edit my own film, and maybe more about my role as a drama teacher, really to provide a safe and comfortable environment for them to experiment and to find their place within a team and find their voice within a team. And these type of skills, obviously, the skills they use in every subject, but it's just getting to know individuals and helping them get to know what type of learner they are, perhaps.
I think one thing I thought interesting was how quickly the girls became at ease with the camera. I don't know how fast that'll happen with staff. I suspect it might be a slightly slower process.
What do you see as the CPD opportunities?
I think it's to do with the fact that we have the experts within our schools. The experts are there in the pupils for what goes on in the classroom. The experts are there in the teachers, so that the teachers can look at each other's work, learn from each other, with the pupil voice having an impact on that as well. And the use of video within the classroom, as Sarah was saying, helps us to focus on process as well as product.
It's good that we're filming from a long distance away because that's going to give you that totally naturalistic look. The second approach is that you get in close to your subjects and you're going to get much nicer shots. You're going to be able to hear them much more clearly. We just grab the camera and head over. It feels more intimate. You're going to be able to pick up reactions nicely, and we can actually hear what they're saying and hear what the difference is.
Okay.
We originally had the intention of sort of making things a lot more messy.
Originally, when I went in, they would talk to me and look at me as if I was part of the group and could respond. And so it just took a lot of filming for them to get used to me being there, but not being there, as it were.
You have to film them a lot.
Yeah.
And then you just become a part of the furniture, effectively.
Yeah.
And they start reacting the way they would have done at the beginning of the process when you were a long way away.
Yeah.
So it's almost as if you're not there.
It's just
and it just takes time.
Yeah.
How do I know that we take